Ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, and you are watching my channel, WarChronicle. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to look at 10 strange military tactics that actually worked. So let's get into it. Starting off at number 10, we have the D-Day landings. On June 6, 1944, Allied forces launched one of the largest amphibious assaults in history on the beaches of Normandy, France. The plan involved a massive deception campaign known as Operation Fortitude, which aimed to convince the Germans that the main Allied invasion would occur further east at Pas-de-Calais. This tactic successfully diverted German troops and resources away from Normandy, allowing the Allies to establish a beachhead in France and eventually liberate Western Europe from Nazi control. Number 9, the Battle of Lemon Pass. In 334 BC, Alexander the Great and his army faced a much larger Persian force at the narrow pass of Lemon. Realizing that a direct confrontation would be disastrous, Alexander's cavalry stayed hidden in the mountains while his infantry pretended to set up camp. When the Persians approached, thinking they had found an easy victory, Alexander's cavalry charged down the mountainside, catching the Persians by surprise and routing them. This brilliant use of terrain and deception secured a decisive Macedonian victory and opened the way for their advance into Persia. No. 8. The Battle of Karansabas. During the Battle of Karansabas in 1697, the Imperial Austrian army under the command of Prince Eugene of Savoy faced a larger Ottoman force. Realizing that they were outnumbered, the Austrians retreated into the town, abandoning their artillery and baggage train. The Ottomans, eager for a quick victory, followed closely behind. However, when they entered the town, they found it virtually impassable. Due to the narrow streets and lack of open spaces, the Austrians, on the other hand, were able to utilize the town's irregular streets and buildings to their advantage, launching surprise attacks from unexpected directions. The Ottomans, unable to cope with the unfamiliar urban terrain, eventually retreated outside the city walls where they were defeated by the Austrian cavalry. This surprising victory demonstrated the importance of considering terrain and urban warfare in military planning. Number 7. The Battle of Cannae. In 216 BC, Hannibal Barca's army of 60,000 men, including 10,000 cavalry, faced off against the Roman army of 80,000 men near the city of Cannae in southern Italy, despite being outnumbered. Hannibal's forces were able to encircle and destroy the Roman army using a clever combination of cavalry charges and infantry formations. His cavalry screened his infantry's movements, preventing Rome from reinforcing its center. While the Romans mistakenly believed they had the upper hand, Hannibal's disciplined troops held firm, gradually exhausting their attackers. As the Romans became increasingly desperate, Hannibal's cavalry exploited the gaps in the Roman lines, causing massive casualties. The Battle of Cannae remains one of the most famous examples of tactical brilliance and discipline leading to victory despite numerical inferiority. No. 6. The Battle of Alesia. In 52 BC, Julius Caesar's Roman army laid siege to the Gallic city of Alesia. Led by Vercingetorix, the defenders successfully resisted the Roman siege, forcing Caesar to lift the siege and retreat to winter quarters. However, Vercingetorix made the decision to pursue Caesar's army, hoping to ambush and destroy it. Caesar's engineers quickly constructed fortifications around his camp, turning it into a virtual fortress. Vercingetorix's army was forced to lay siege to the Roman camp, but they lacked the resources and expertise of the Roman siege forces. After 10 days, Vercingetorix lifted the siege and retreated to Alesia, only to find the city under siege by Caesar's returning army. With no hope of relief, Vercingetorix surrendered, ending the siege of Alesia. The battle is considered a masterclass in siege warfare and the importance of securing your base before pursuing an enemy. No. 5. The Battle of Marathon. In 490 BC, the Persian army under the command of Darius I marched on the Greek city of Marathon. The Persians, who had previously invaded and subjugated much of Western Asia Minor, intended to punish the Athenians for their involvement in a revolt against Persian rule. Despite being outnumbered 7-1, the Athenian army, led by Miltiades, defeated the Persians in a decisive battle at Marathon. This victory is considered one of the most important in ancient history, as it marked the first time a Greek city-state had successfully defended itself against an invading Persian force. The Battle of Marathon demonstrated the power of military innovation and strategic planning in overcoming seemingly insurmountable odds. Number 4. The Battle of Fredericksburg. In December 1862, Confederate forces under General Robert E. Lee's command confronted the Union Army of the Potomac led by General Burnside at Fredericksburg, Virginia. The Union Army, nearly twice the size of the Confederacy, hoped for a decisive victory. However, Lee's army, utilizing the high ground and natural obstacles in the terrain, inflicted a devastating defeat on the Union forces. Despite repeated assaults on the Confederate positions, the Union troops were unable to dislodge Lee's army. The Battle of Fredericksburg remains one of the most one-sided battles in American history and is notable for the heavy casualties suffered by the Union Army. It highlighted the challenges of offensive warfare in hilly wooded terrain and the importance of defensive fortifications in achieving military success. No. 3 is the Battle of Hastings. In 1066, the English army led by King Harold Godwinson faced off against the Norman army led by Duke William the Conqueror near Hastings, England. The Norman victory at the Battle of Hastings is considered a pivotal moment in English history, as it led to the establishment of Norman rule and the introduction of feudalism in England. William's army, though smaller, was better equipped and more disciplined, allowing them to wear down the English and eventually defeat them. The death of Harold Godwinson and the subsequent accession of William the Conqueror had profound consequences for the language, culture, and society of England, shaping it into the country it is today. Number 2. The Battle of Gaugamela. In 331 BC, Alexander the Great and his Macedonian army faced the Neo-Assyrian Empire's army, led by King Mardonius, at the Battle of Gaugamela. Despite being outnumbered, Alexander's army emerged victorious, marking the end of the Achaemenid Empire and opening the way for Macedonian control over Mesopotamia. Alexander's cavalry played a crucial role in the battle, with his personal bodyguard of 700 elite cavalrymen known as the Companions playing a key role in breaking through the enemy lines and capturing Mardonius. The Battle of Gaugamela is renowned for its strategic brilliance and is considered one of the most important battles in ancient Middle Eastern history. And finally, 1. The Battle of Thermopylae. In 480 BC, an elite force of 300 Spartan soldiers led by King Leonidas I held off a massive Persian army attempting to invade Greece at the narrow pass of Thermopylae. Despite being hopelessly outnumbered, the Spartans and their allies fought bravely against the Persians, delaying their advance and allowing the rest of the Greek army to prepare for the coming war. The heroic last stand of the Spartans at Thermopylae has become a legendary example of courage and military discipline in the face of overwhelming odds. So there you have it, 10 strange military tactics that actually worked. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe so you never miss out on future uploads. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.